Good evening and welcome to The Pulse. I am David Harris Jr. Well, friends, we have a victory for life in Arizona. A state Supreme Court today in Arizona, the state Supreme Court upheld a 160-year-old ban on abortion, making it illegal in nearly all circumstances, unless the mother's life is in danger. The 1864 ban predates Arizona's statehood. President Biden seizing on the ruling, asking Congress to pass a law restoring the guarantees of Roe v. Wade nationwide. But even some conservatives say that this bill, it goes too far. Arizona Senate candidate Carrie Lake turning some heads by denouncing the ban, calling on the state legislature to pass a more common sense solution. So is this Arizona ban too strict, in your opinion? Joining me now is... Oh, she's not going to be here? Well, I'll just talk. I'm so thankful for every guest, and I understand technical difficulties do happen. And this show is live, friends. So what you're seeing right now is exactly what's coming out of my mouth. And I'll just say this. When it comes to the issue of abortion, I am unapologetically 100% pro-life. I believe that every single baby, from the moment of conception, deserves a chance at life. I believe that because that baby has its own DNA, that right there completely annihilates anything that has to do with my body, my choice. It's not your DNA, so it's not your choice. That should be the end of the discussion. I know for 50 years we had a federal law that basically granted the opportunity for individuals to get abortions. I know a lot of states said, no, not in our state. We're gonna continue to push for life. But I believe 100% that every single baby deserves a chance at life. And I couldn't be more excited for Arizona setting the pace. So we do have her. Joining me now is live action correspondent Christina Bennett. Christina, thank you so much for joining me this evening. Let me ask you, when it comes to this absolute ban, unless the woman's life, the mother's life, is at risk, what are your thoughts? What does that make you feel that they upheld this ban on abortion in Arizona?
I think it's always beautiful when a state decides that they're going to fight for preborn children. And of course, we want that to be the case with every single life, regardless of the circumstances, even when a mother's life is in danger. But nevertheless, they have made great strides. And I am so proud of the actions that they have taken. And every state that honors and values preborn life should be applauded.
Yes, I absolutely agree with you 110%. I believe that so many people don't understand what happens in abortion, especially second and third term abortion. Late term abortion is so barbaric. But when a baby can start to, develop and have a heartbeat at 6 weeks, some say somewhere in 5 to 6 weeks, when you are ending a heartbeat, you are killing a life. It should be that cut and dry. I know you work with live action. I love live action. Lila Rose is a good friend of mine. I was actually at the gala last year in Southern California. There's a lot of people that really absolutely believe that this is the hill to die on when it comes to policies and policymakers. What are your thoughts?
I would have to agree. My mother walked out of her abortion appointment with me, and if she had not, I would have been dismembered and thrown away into a trash can. But instead, I have the gift of life. This is the most important issue. It's the most important human rights issue and civil rights issue. Without the right to life, we have no other right. And so it's foundational.
Yes, it is foundational. And that just really hit me hard because my wife shares your story. She found out when her mom was actually battling cancer, and she ultimately lost that battle, but she won heaven. We know she's up there. She found out that her mom left the abortion clinic and decided to have her. So I wouldn't have the love of my life. We wouldn't have our 2 amazing daughters. We wouldn't have our 2 amazing granddaughters if her mom had not courageously chose life. So share a little bit more about your own personal story. The fact that your mother gave you that chance at life, was it a decision that she's come to absolutely appreciate? I'm sure it has been. You're obviously a beautiful young woman. Did she talk to you at all about the decisions and why maybe she was going to go through with it, and then how she felt after not going through with it, having you? Talk to us a little bit, if you can, about that.
Yes, we've had many conversations, and she's very proud of the work that I do today as a pro life advocate. She was being coerced. She was being pressured by my father. They were in a dysfunctional relationship. He already had two kids at the time from two other women. And so he pressured her to get an abortion. And she did go to a mentor at church. Even though she knew that she had sinned by having sex outside of marriage, she went back to church. But her mentor told her because she had sinned by having sex outside of marriage, she couldn't come back. She told her, "You're not welcome here anymore," and that she would stop her from coming back to church. And so instead, she went to Mount Sinai Hospital in Hartford, Connecticut by herself to get the abortion. But thankfully, a janitor saw her crying in the hospital hallway and told her that God would give her the strength. And she ended up walking out. But before that happened, the abortionist didn't want her to leave. He told her, "You've already paid for this. You're just nervous. You can get through it." And he yelled at her, "Don't leave this room." But she ran out. I thank God that she had courage in that moment to face him and to leave.
Yeah, that is a beautiful thing. It's pretty amazing. You know, God, I call him Papa because he's such a good father. Papa will send messengers. You know, it sounds like your mom just needed that messenger. And not
Yes.
saying that that janitor was an angel, but he was aware of what was happening and he was willing to speak words of encouragement to her. And that's what you do. Tell us about maybe some of the lives that you've seen change, some of the mothers that have brought babies into this world because of your work with Live Action, an amazing organization. Absolutely love everything that Live Action does. Tell us some of the incredible testimonials or one that sticks out the most as far as, you know, a huge transformation or a mother that was going to go through with ending her baby's life and then didn't and is so proud and thankful today. What kind of stuff do you hear?
Well, at Live Action, we get emails and messages from people all the time telling us that they chose to keep their baby because they saw one of our videos or read one of our articles. And along with that, personally, I am often talking to women considering abortion. And there's one particular woman who right now has a beautiful little boy. I had a 3-hour conversation with her. It actually was 3 hours and 16 minutes, which I didn't plan, but it makes me think of John 3:16, for God so loved the world. I
Yes.
noticed that when the phone call ended, but she was completely convinced that she needed to have an abortion. And we had a conversation. And in that conversation, she changed her mind. And I promised that I would stand by her side. And I did. I ended up helping her find housing, helping her find a job, and threw a beautiful baby shower for her. And now she lives not too far from me. She was originally in another state, but she moved to my state. And so she's a part of my life. And I consider her a friend. And it all started from one phone call. And I didn't even know her. Someone just said, "Christina, there's a young woman who's thinking of having an abortion. Can you talk to her?" And I said, "Absolutely." And now she's got a beautiful son who's in this world. And so sometimes just one phone conversation or one email or one video can save a life.
Absolutely. You know, I've said it for years. I've been on social media. I've been championing being pro-life. If it's off in somebody's moral compass that is asking for my vote, if it is off, that it's okay to them to end the lives of our unborn, our most precious, what else is off with their moral compass? To me, I agree with
Right.
you. It's the hill to die on. It's the crux of the issue. We need to champion our most precious, innocent, and vulnerable gifts from God. And you guys are doing that. Christina Bennett, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate you and love your story.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. Thank you. God bless.
Yes. Thank you. God bless.